Good evening. Tonight we're going to take a look at the Canon Canonet QL17 GIII, which is a very long name for a rather small camera. This is one of a number of semi-automatic 35mm cameras that were produced by some of the major Japanese camera manufacturers back in the 1970s. This particular model was produced between 1972 and 1982, excuse me, and about 1.2 million were sold altogether. This makes it one of the largest selling 35mm rangefinders of all time, by the way. So there are a few of them on the used camera market at any given time, and you can generally pick them up for, well, you can check out the prices yourself, I guess. Now, this particular camera has a 40mm f1.7 lens and a blade shutter. The blade shutter is located in between the lens elements, and that means that one nice thing about a blade shutter, by the way, is that it will sync at all shutter speeds with a flash. So you can set the shutter at 1/500th and still use the flash, and this is great for fill-in outdoors. Now let's take a look at some of the setup of this camera. Most of the controls are located on the lens barrel and this black ring on the outermost ring is the shutter speed ring. Next we have the film speed window, and you set the film speed by operating this little lever right here, which is kind of actually a little tricky to use. Next we have the f-stop ring, which is this ring here, and if you set it at this letter A, it means it's an automatic f-stop setting, and when you do that, all you have to do is set your shutter speed and you can shoot away. So you can use it kind of like as a point and shoot almost at that point. And next up we have the film focus, the lens focusing lever, which is this handy little lever right here. It focuses over a 45-degree angle, as you can see, and it's actually quite easy to focus. Also, we have on the lens the self-timer right here. However, if you do pick one of these up and it's operating well, I wouldn't mess with the self-timer. A lot of times with these old cameras, you know, the self-timer is suspect, and if that goes, then you have to send the whole thing in for an overhaul, by the way. So other things I want to point out here. Here's the rangefinder window. Here's your viewfinder window. On top we have, of course, the film rewind crank, the hot shoe for the flash. It'll also take in this little behind this little door here a PC connection, by the way. Here's your film advance lever, your shutter release button, and the film counter is in this little window here. Looking at the back of the camera, we have the battery test light. When that lights, it's okay. Here's your viewfinder, which also incorporates the rangefinder. This little window here with the stripes, when the stripes move back and forth as you advance the film, that means everything is operating normally. And this little window here, when that's red, it means the shutter is cocked. Now, in a camera like this, you know, frankly, I would not want to have the shutter cocked when not in use. In other words, if you're done shooting and it's you're putting it away for the night, you definitely want to uncock the shutter by releasing the shutter, even if it means wasting a little film. Underneath we have the usual things, the battery doors right here. Here's your tripod socket, and this is your little button for the to rewind your film. So let's open up the back and see if we can load a roll of film in this camera. This camera has the QL, and the name, by the way, stands for quick loading. And this camera does have some sort of a quick loading system. Some people rave about this quick loading system for this particular camera, which also, by the way, appeared on a few Canon SLRs back in the 1980s and 70s. Don't forget, at the time Kodak had to drop in 126 cartridges, and so I think Canon had felt that it had to have some sort of a way to, compete against that using this quick loading system. I'm not too crazy about it myself. Some people are, take your pick. I'm loading a roll of T-Max, by the way. And to load film, you simply bring your leader over to this kind of little orange line right there, okay? And then close the door. That's all you got to do, and just snap it shut. And knock off. Advance the film 3 times. And the 4th time, the shutter should cock, and you should see the window turn red. Okay, so then you're ready to go. If you do pick up this camera used, you definitely want to take a look at replacing the light seals. After 30 years or so, 40 years maybe, the light seals definitely get crumbly and useless. So that's one thing you'll need to have done or do yourself. It's not that hard. There actually are kits that are sold that make it fairly easy. And you also might want to consider a total overhaul. These generally run around the $130 range, for a complete cleaning and lubrication, whatever. I think it's worth it because, it's a nice little retro camera in spite of the shortcomings that I mentioned. Another thing about the Canon QL17 is that you definitely would want to use the case here. I know a lot of people don't like using these cases, but it'll help seal against or keep dust out of the camera. The camera is not particularly well sealed in the dust department. So anyway, there you go. That's the Canon QL17 GIII, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks.